I gotta go too.
I was lucky enough to be the first one to come to America with that cup trick. I was born in Berlin in 1934. Gosh, I'm an old man. And I was raised there until I was about 18 years old. By then I did the act, which Ringling saw me perform in a Berlin theater in 1950, very early in 1952. And he hired me to come to America, and I opened April 1st, 1952 in New York, in Madison Square Garden with him. It's my 60th year in America, yeah. Yeah, and about a few more years performing, because I started when I was 13 years old. So that's, well, you make the mathematics. I can't count that good anymore. It's been quite a few years, yeah. When we opened in 1952, we played Madison Square Garden 6 weeks, and then we played the Boston Garden for a week. And then after that, we went into the tent. And I don't know exactly where it was, but somewhere in the east. But we came from the train and we walked to the tent. We could walk, it was less than a mile, I think. And all of a sudden we saw the tent kind of, while walking, coming out of the ground, because it was down in a valley, kind of. And we saw the poles, and as we came closer, we started running, because it was so exciting to see the tent for the first time. And it was huge. It was a fantastic sight. I never forget it. I get goosebumps talking about it. When we saw it for the first time, like I said, the closer we came, the faster we run. Just to see what it looks like when you see the whole tent, you know. It was amazing, yeah.
What was it like performing under a tent that size?
Well, in the beginning, for us Europeans who came over from Europe at the time, it was a little tough. You had to learn it, because you worked with 3 other acts together, and the audience was kind of spread out away from you. There was a lot going on. There were Ricker running around. They were selling popcorn and cotton candy and all that we were not used to. So we kind of had to get used to it. But it didn't take us long, and we worked for it, and then we knew how to work towards the audience. The audiences were always great. So I was very lucky. I was in the center ring. So I only had 2 sides to work to, but they were very fancy people. I think it cost a little bit more to buy the tickets around the center ring there. So, very intelligent audience. It was fun. And we got used to working towards them, and we really enjoyed it. I mean, I got a kick out of it. And we were fighting with the other acts and the other rings, you know, who get more success. Well, I opened with some juggling underground. I came out and did some top hats juggling, some cigar boxes. Actually, I opened with a tennis racket. I did like the devil sticks, that they call it devil sticks today. I had a tennis racket in the middle between 2 sticks, and I let that dance back and forth and turn on and all that. Then I went to hats and cigar boxes, and then in that moment, the rigger set up the slug wire on both sides, the rigging. Somebody ran across with the wire, hooked it in, and I went onto the wire, and my uncle tossed the cups to me. And I started with one saucer, 1 cup, etc., on the slug wire. And I did mostly 8.
Tell me how you learned this trick in Germany.
Oh.
I mean, who was your mentor?
Oh, my uncle Otto Krakow. My private name is Krakow. Otto Krakow. He was a comedy juggler. His name was Little Knox, just like the Knox, same way. But in Germany we pronounce it Little Knox, K-N-O-X. The spelling was a little different. And he was my teacher. He was my real uncle, my father's brother. And I went to him when I was 13 years old. When I came out of school, I came out of school when I was 14. And I learned the profession. I signed a contract for 3 years, and then I stayed with him another 5 years. And it was all under contract, but even though it was family. And he taught me everything, and he taught me the juggling from beginning, and I never had any talent for juggling, really. And he didn't want to keep me because of that. He says, you got no talent, you could be a shoemaker. Go be a shoemaker, but not a juggler. But I wanted to be a juggler so bad, I got up at night and I practiced secretly, but he didn't know. So after about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, he saw that I was progressing. And he said, well, maybe you have a little talent. Okay, I'll keep you. Ah, and that was my luck. You know, I was so happy about that. And but we never really clicked in the business until I saw somebody do the cups and saucer routine on stage in Berlin. And I said to my uncle, I said, we got to do this. We got to do this trick, because this guy, he's half the juggler that I am. I was considered already in those years, I guess. And I said, if we do this trick, then we might hit big time, you know. So he went into the kitchen and he started building the cups out of paper mache, paper glue, and fiberglass and stuff like this. And I practiced and I practiced. And I did. After about 2 months, I could do about 4 or 5 cups. Well, I never forget that. We got a booking with it, but the people who booked us remember the other juggler in that they saw, and he already did 10 cups at the time. So when we got in our booking, we got to the little town in a movie house where we were advertised. I saw the posters, and the poster says, Dieter Jung, at that time my name was Dieter Jung, doing his 10 cups pyramid. I said, 10 cups, my God, I can hardly do 5. You know, I was shaking. And I went on stage and I did 2, 3 and they fell off. Boom. So I put them back together again. So I put another one. I kept going again. They fell off again. It was a mess. I mean, I was just not ready.
How old were you then?
I was 15. Yeah. They wanted to fire us. I mean, I was close to it. But I kept practicing. And another 2 years later, a circus in Berlin hired a circus ballet, which was sitting right in the center of Berlin. And from then on, people saw us. And then we got the palace, which we were aiming for. They called it the Friedrichstadtpalast in Berlin. It was a big theater, and it was in the east. And somebody gave me a little card and says, Ringling, from the Ringling Brothers Circus in America was here, and he saw you act and he wants to talk to you. And I said, it's not possible, the guy is kidding, you know. Because he was there, saw my act, but during intermission he took off again. I guess he didn't like it in the East either, you know. At that time, Berlin, West Berlin and East Berlin was still open. There was no wall yet, you know, it was before the war. Wall, you could go back and forth. They checked you once in a while, but you could go back and forth. Anyway, he took off. I didn't think much of it. But after a while, a phone call came in from an agent, and he said, yeah, Ringling wants to take you to America if you want to go. They booked us on an Italian ship from Genoa, Italy, and it was a slow, Vulcania was the name of the ship. Vulcania was a slow ship. It took 13 days. It went to Canada first, and then it went to New York. In Madison Square Garden, the first performances, they were tough, because we weren't used to all that noise and all that big, you know, I was used to a small theater, etc. And I remember crying. I said, I want to go home, I don't like it. And I wasn't the only one. A lot of friends of mine, you know, were the same way. But we had a contract for 1 year and 2 years option. So we knew, you're not going to turn around and go back. Besides that, Ringling gave us the money for the trip over here. He paid it, and they took it out of our salary after a while, you know. So anyway, it took only a few days. All of a sudden, we liked everything. We liked blue jeans. They told us, you got to buy blue jeans when you go on the road with the tent. You need blue jeans, you need boots, rubber boots, and you need a few other things for bad weather, you know. And when we went shopping, and the prices looked so reasonable to us, so cheap compared to Europe, you know. Oh, all of a sudden, hey, something woke up in you, you know. And that didn't take a week or so, we loved it. The good old days. The good thing about it is that I remember it still. That's okay, one more time. There you go, we got it.